And a very good afternoon. Welcome back to Les Sables d'Olonne. It's day 30 on this 10th edition of the Vendée Globe. And out here in Les Sables d'Olonne, it's a little bit grey and quite cool. Starting to think on the race course, well, Charlie Dallin just say we're starting to think about the halfway point of the race. Charlie Dallin should be there within the next day and a half, perhaps 2 days. Meantime, Sébastien Simon in second place. Well, he spoke with the president of the Vendée region today, live on his show. And there was a little reminder for him once again that Alex Thompson finished the Vendée Globe in second place with only one foil. And I think the big news this morning was that Pip Hare has a problem with the bulkhead on board Medallia. She's having to make a composite repair, which she's expecting to do in slightly lighter winds this afternoon, but she's got a very tight time window. And this was Pip when she reported in earlier today.
The last 24 hours have been a really rough ride. I'm just looking out at the sea state now, and it is just a maelstrom. The waves are, I would say, close to 5 meters, probably 4.5. But basically, we've been lifted into the waves. So the wind has been turning and altered our course so that we're taking the waves side on instead of from behind. But also the wind is side on to the waves, which means that they are breaking. They've become the period has become shorter. They've become much steeper. It's been quite violent. Sadly, that has taken its toll on my boat. So last night, while I was doing my checks, I discovered that I had a crack in one of the bulkheads forward. It's not too bad. I found it very, very early, but I've just been up and checked it again, and I can feel it moving, and it is something that needs to be addressed. And so the team they've put together a laminating schedule for me. I've got really good instructions to make a confident repair, but right now I am just trying to work out when to do it and manage the boat in the meantime. So conditions are, as I said, really, I'm literally looking at waves just climbing up above the coach roof at the moment. So it is really hard to try and keep the boat in a more gentle motion. And I'm hoping that this afternoon, your time, the sea state will have died down enough for me to be able to get up forward and start that repair, which is probably about 3 or 4 hours of work and needs to be done before the next system comes through, which is in about 30 hours time. I'm racing an older boat. So, we kind of expected these things would happen, and we're ready to deal with them. And I need to get my overalls on and become a boat builder for a little while. Stop being a sailor, become a boat builder. But it's all fixable, and that's the good thing.
So that's the situation for Pip Hare on board Medallia. We'll keep you up to date with that as ever. Pip not making a drama of it, and she has quite specific instructions how to get on with that lamination that she has to do ideally this afternoon. And of course frustrating for her because she's closed up so many miles on Roman Attanasio. Anyway, my guest today is Leah Sweet, whose journey in professional sailing has taken her all the way from multiple different classes, from her family boatyard, I think making repairs in the Azores originally, to becoming boat captain with Justine Mettraux, with Teamwork, Team SNEF, and she's sailed many different classes, and say she's been the boat captain. Justine, Leah, how are you? Justine, Leah, how are you? Leah, how are you?
I'm doing great, Andy. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Tell us about a little bit about your journey while we're waiting for Justine to connect. How did you end up getting involved with the Vendée Globe at this level, and as a boat captain with Justine?
It was quite the journey to get here. And as you know, the French world can be a bit hard to get your foot in with as a non-French sailor, non-French technical crew. But they posted an advertisement, and I applied the old-fashioned way, interviewed, and I was chosen. They liked my background, they liked my skills, my being able to work with teams, and varied skills that I've picked up along the way. So it was great. It was a great chance to get over here and get to know the IMOCAs, which I never had the chance to work with before.
Where did sailing start for you, as I say? Was that in the Azores?
It was in the Azores, not on dinghies or anything. I started on 30, 40-foot boats sailing around the islands and doing short races between the islands. And that was kind of where I started. And professionally, it started on tall ships. Yeah, hard work with big teams and big oceans, sailing around the world, sailing in the Southern Ocean and Antarctica. And that really taught me hard work and teamwork, and really planted the seed for rigging and just wanting to learn more and do more, go faster. So that's where it started.
We'll come back to you in just a few seconds. Now, Justine, I think, is in 10th or 11th place at the moment, just a few miles behind Boris Herman. Justine, how are you on Teamwork Team SNEF today?
Yeah, hi Andy. Yeah, I'm fine. It's been a pretty nice day today. Sunny this morning, and yeah, it's kind of decent breeze, but the sea state is still pretty bad. So I think we're all looking forward to go out of the Indian Ocean.
So when's that going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know where you call the border exactly. But yeah, I should be around Cape Lowin, like it's around the 12th. Yeah, we'll see afterwards. Hopefully it's gonna be a bit better.
And in the meantime, we're talking about Charlie approaching the halfway mark of the race. Does that make it all feel so much more achievable for you?
Yeah, I mean, there is still to me there is still a big chunk with the Pacific. We know it's the bigger ocean we still need to cross, and it has its own challenges. So yeah, we'll see. I think for sure there will be probably more relief once we round Cape Horn, or once it's a bit behind us. But yeah, for the moment we know we'll have at least a couple of weeks to sail in the Southern Ocean, probably more around 3. So yeah, there is still a long way to go.
I mean, Justine, you've been in the Indian Ocean a few times. How does this compare solo on your own?
Yeah, it's different. It's you know, when you're a crew, you really push the boat all the time. You're always swimming, trying to get the maximum of the boat. And like here, single-headed, it's like more trying to find a good average where the boat can sail on its own, and the pilot can do its work, and you can do whatever else you have to do. So yeah, for sure it's a bit a different mood, and we don't have stopovers as well, so you know, you have to take care of the boat. So I think a lot of time these last days, with like the small group I'm sailing with, we've just like tried to find the good averages where where the boat doesn't hit the waves too hard, and you feel you're not gonna break too much of it.
Now, Justine, this group of 4 has been together since the Atlantic. Do you see yourselves finishing in Les Sables as a group?
Yeah, we'll see. No, I think for sure a lot will still happen, but as we're a group, I think we all have kind of the same strategy, and we all have kind of the same speed, more or less. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's been maybe like a week or a bit more now that we sailed together, and it's nice to have both around and be able to compare. And for sure there is a bit of feeling of safety as well, just because you're not completely on your own in the middle of nowhere.
Wonderful. Listen, we have Leah Sweet with us online. She's going to say a quick hello to you, hopefully.
Hi, Juju. How are you doing?
Hi, Juju. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Hi. Nice to hear you, Leah. Yeah,
You too.
It's going well. Pretty happy with the boat and everything.
Good. Yeah, the boat's been behaving. It's been great to follow along and keep fingers crossed. It's looking great. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Just
Still a long way to go.
Tell us a little bit about Leah. What's it been like working with her?
Yeah, I mean, it's been nice for us. As she said, we looked for a boat captain in the spring because we needed to replace someone, and I think it's been nice. It's been a really good experience for her as well, and I mean, there are so many hammock approaches, it's not easy to find people with experience on the boat, and it's been nice for her, I think, to build experience on this project.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Anyway, Juju, it was great to speak with you, and you sail safe, sail fast, and have a great day. Fast and have a great day.
Nice. Thank you very much. It's already the end of the day here, but thank you.
Have a good night then. Have a good night then.
Yeah, exactly. Night is starting. Bye.
Great stuff. Leah, then tell us a little bit about Justine. She's an incredible sailor and seems like a lovely person.
Absolutely. No, she's the whole package. She looks after her team, and she never stops driving herself to improve her skills, both on the technical side of things and knowing that she can take care of her boat offshore, but also her own sailing and her confidence with the electronics on board. And she always makes time to socialize with us as a team and as people. And it was a pleasure to work with her. It's been a pleasure to have her through the Magenta Project as a mentor, and being able to work with her professionally has been even better.
And a bit of an inspiration to yourself then for the future.
Oh, absolutely. She's carved a huge path for herself and inspired a lot of women. And I feel very lucky to have been able to work side by side with her. And it's not just a distant inspiration, but I know the hard work that she's put in. So I know everything that it takes to get to where she is.
We'll come back to you in just a few seconds and we'll talk about the whole Magenta Project thing. But in the meantime, Nico Lunven is on his first Vendée Globe. He's sailing very close with Jeremy Bayou, who's on his fifth. And I think probably Nico's in a little bit better mental state. He's reasonably happy or reasonably objective with his position at the moment. And this was Nico earlier on today.
Hello, hello. We are on board Holcim PRB. Everything is going well. We had quite a tough night with a very strong wind and very short and bad sea state. We had up to 40-45 knots of wind due to a very kind of small secondary low, but very small system developing just on us almost. So it was a bit tough with very sharp waves. And now we are back with much better wind, like we have 25 knots of wind speed from northwest. So we are sailing downwind. The sea state is still a bit bad, but in the next few hours the sea state is supposed to be much better.
Watching Charlie Dallin, he's just behind the record of Armel Leclerc, which is this red dot here, but in general his lead is pretty secure, and we'll watch as he comes towards Tasmania. That should perhaps increase. Otherwise at the back it's fairly steady conditions, this northwesterly flow for the back of the group of 9 as it were, and then the group of 4 setting up for this low pressure coming through just now. The most exposed just now is Antoine Corniche, who's in the heart of, or the top of this low pressure system, so quite difficult conditions for them, but generally the daggerboard boats and this group in particular staying quite north to avoid that low pressure system. So now looking in a little more detail at the tracking or the routing for Charlie Dallin, Seb Simon and Johan Richomme, Thomas Rion, just playing this out. Seeing in this generally direct VMG downwind conditions, fairly good for them all the way through. Just watching this high pressure ridge developing there, just behind Charlie, getting richer as he goes out towards Tasmania, which we see him crossing probably on Thursday. And of course that's pretty much the midpoint of the course. Big psychological milestone. Otherwise the group at the back, the 5, are staying fairly close, so good racing for them. So that's the situation for the boats in the front of the fleet. A little bit further back, well, Antoine Corniche, as we said, in this low, trying to get out of it. Otherwise, it's about staying north in the westerly breeze and trying to avoid this low pressure system which is coming through. And this is just a quick look at the wave situation. Sorry, just in general, fairly decent for the boats at the front, but this big low at the back is the most difficult situation, as I said, for Antoine Corniche in particular. So a difficult day for him in the next 24 hours, but otherwise all good in the fleet. Indeed. So, Leah, tell us about, you started off as a mentee for the Magenta Project and now a mentor. Tell us about your journey there and what's happening next.
It's been fantastic. It was a great organization that came off the back of Team SCA in the 2014-2015 Volvo and has been growing ever since. And I was mentored in 2019, 2020 by Annie Lush, who taught me a lot and really helped me set goals and create realistic waypoints along the way. And I've run the program for 2 years, which was an incredible learning experience for me and really feeling like I could make a difference in the industry and make it easier and better for the women coming after us. And currently I am managing the Magenta foiling team. We are trying to develop a foiling pathway for women in foiling, not just getting them into foiling and getting them hooked, but actually helping set forth the steps that they can follow after starting on a WASP, for example, and helping them get through classes like 69F and ETF all the way up to the F50s in the America's Cup and really creating something attainable.
You were talking initially about coming to France. Are there more opportunities for women in professional sailing in France and with the teams?
Absolutely. It seems to be a much more open culture, and gender doesn't really come into the conversation very often. And you get respected for what you've done and the skills that you have and how much work you put into it. And it has nothing to do with your gender or your race or anything. It's purely about work, and it's really refreshing.
So how can that be transferred outwards to the rest of the sailing world? That's the big question.
It is a big question. It's a tough one. But I think it comes with the development of the sport as a professional sport with more regulations and better opportunities for training. Something that France does really well is they have really good training schools where you can go and train in technical skills and as a sailor. And they host a lot of training camps and learning about navigation and just helping provide opportunities for skill development. So it's not just getting on the boats and sailing, but it's actually being able to learn things in a classroom with the right people.
What would be your advice to the young Leah Sweet?
Don't give up and find your people. Find the people that are willing to support you and stick by you and, yeah, challenge you in a positive way.
Great stuff. We'll come back to you in a few seconds. Now, somebody who is being challenged, his Vendée Globe dream goes way back, is Jingkun Xu, our Chinese skipper. He's passed the Cape of Good Hope, past Cape of Gulhas, and he's having a great time. But passing Cape of Good Hope was a big moment for the Chinese skipper.
这是我第2次通过好望角了，特别开心，哇，真是，耶！ 耶！我们过了好望角喽！我们开始进入印度洋的航行了，航行变得越来越艰难，但是我们从来没有放弃过。我们说到做到了，我们又来到这里了，我们一定能够回去好望角。
Leah, a properly inspirational sailor, isn't he? He may be towards the back of the fleet, but great to see.
Absolutely, and he's a testament to the fact that everyone just needs to sail their own race and focus on their boat and their journey and their challenges, because that's all you can do in these races.
Great stuff. What's your ambitions next then?
Big question. The Volvo's always been on my radar, so I would say the ocean race is pretty high up there. And now that I've got a foot in the door with the IMOCAs and I continue to learn how to sail those and really get to know all the technical side of the IMOCAs and how to really push their limits. So I can stay here in France and try and get involved with another team and keep pushing that.
You want to be on a boat as opposed to on shore, yeah?
Absolutely.
So what's the next steps and how do you do that?
Oh, it's a good question.
I'm full of them.
I guess just time on the water with these boats, and any work that I can do as shore crew with other IMOCAs means a lot of training days with the boats, because they always go out training most of the time as a team. So that gives you a really good time on the water, seeing it in different conditions, and yeah, really learning from the skippers as well.
Your technical skills, how did you pick them up? And say you started in your family boatyard. What have the key stages been, the key steps?
I did quite a bit of rigging apprenticeship over the years, all over the place, just kind of working for not a lot of money, but really learning a lot of skills. And then being given the opportunity to work as a nipper with Maxi 72s and TP 52s and just picking up as much as I could from the people around me. And then trial and error with my own campaigns and building on the skills that I had from them, asking questions.
But it's team sailing you want to do, it's crewed sailing you want to do. You've no aspirations to go solo racing?
Definitely not solo. I am incredibly intrigued by double-handed sailing. I've had some incredibly successful double-handed races in the past, and I love the challenge of it. And it's not quite solo racing, but you're still pushing your limits and you're learning from the person that you're with. But I also really enjoy the team dynamics. I enjoy trying to make a team that's strong and successful and that can learn how to push the boat and work harmoniously. I find that an incredible challenge. People are fascinating.
They are indeed, especially in this Vendée Globe. And this is the most international Vendée Globe we've had, with 14 nations out there on the water still. And this is Denis van Weynbergh from Belgium, who's based in Les Sables d'Olonne. He's been here for 6 years, and he's turning out to be one of the stars of the race. Denis, how are you?
Hi, fine. Everything is okay.
You look fantastic. You look fantastic in these glasses.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, it's special glasses for the Indian Ocean, special for the sun. It's yellow glasses is for the sun. They call the sun, and then I have sun for the moment.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how are you? How's it going?
It's going well. It was quite difficult to make a lot of north all the night because I know that it's not good for the world, but it's better for the future. It's better to have the low pressure down me, and I prefer that. And it was a little bit difficult with the low pressure because everything is going very quick. You have 45 knots, and then you have only 10 knots, and you have always make changing of sailing, and it's a bit difficult. I prefer to go in the north, and also I hope to touch some high pressure in 3 or 4 days, and maybe this high pressure, we can have this high pressure to go to Australia and to be at the border of high pressure, and like this it will be fine to sailing there.
Now tell us, because you have a lot of volunteers with your program and you're based in Les Sables, just give us a little story of your program.
Yeah, it's really amazing because all the team are volunteers, but they work like professional, and it's really a good adventure, really good experience. It's really it's like in the whole time, I think, but we are the only team who work like this, and all the people, all the volunteers are living in Sables d'Olonne, and I'm feel a little bit like Sablé and like Vendée, you know. It was a great experience for me 6 years ago to go in Vendée and to learn a lot of things, and to learn a lot of things about the people, and to meet all the team. And now we are in the Vendée Globe with this team, and they make a really good job.
So Denis van Weynbergh on board Dieter Group, the former Spirit of Hungary, a sailor who came in as an adventurer and really relishing the challenges of the Indian Ocean. Now let's go into the rankings with some images from Roman Attanasio, and giving you once again a nice little insight into life on board in the Southern Ocean. Sometimes it's sunny and sometimes it's grey and horrible. And here's the ranking. And then the midday rankings today, Tuesday, well, really not too much change at the top of the fleet. The delta between Sebastian Simon and Johan Richomme fairly steady, and although Johan's moved out a little bit away from Thomas Riong. So Charlie Dellon in first, Sebastian Simon in second, 164 miles behind. Johan Richomme 3-2-1. That gain over the last 24 hours, or yesterday in particular, has largely stabilised. Otherwise, Jeremy Bayou and Nico Lunven super close together, only 4 miles apart. Sam Goodchild and Paul Meha about 30, 40 miles between them. Boris Herman now in 10th at the lead of this little group of 4. Justine Mettraux about 9 miles behind. Sam Davis about 30 miles behind approximately. And Clarice another 10 miles behind. So that group of 4 still staying tightly knit. Pip Hare with these problems. She's only 3 miles behind Roman Atanasio, though she's going to have to make that small repair, a composite repair this afternoon, ideally. Isabel Joschkin 19th, Alan Rura 20th from Switzerland, Giancarlo Padotti 23rd from Italy. Otherwise, not too many changes. Conrad Coleman in 29th, Oliver Here sailing a really good solid race as Ole in 32nd, Kojiro Shiraishi, these two quite close together in 33rd. Jingkun Xu getting into the strong winds as of yesterday, and Denis van Weynbergh, who we spoke to today, in 37th, and Shabby in 38th. Shabby largely stuck in the South Atlantic High and going quite slowly today, but that's the rankings at midday. Indeed, that's how the positions are at the moment. Leah Sweet, so many inspirational women there out on the racecourse at the moment, but Pip Hare in particular taking everything in her stride with this composite repair.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been, I'm sure, very well prepared by her team, and the communications that we have now with between the short crews and the skippers is really helpful to help them and support them in solving these kinds of problems that they come up. But it's ultimately down to the skippers to touch upon what they've learned in the past and their confidence and their desire to continue the race.
And you have a little project you're helping with at the moment. I think you're helping out in a mini.
I am, yes. Rebecca Coles and her mini project for the 2027. I'm just helping her out, trying to support where I can and help get her to the start line as well.
But you do that with many, many different projects, don't you? You're very happy to go and help. I mean, I think you were with Pam Lee and the girls on the Transat Jacques Vabre as well last year.
Absolutely. We all need to stick together, and even a solo campaign, it takes a team to get to the start line. And for me, I want us all to succeed. I don't want it to be a competition, and if they can succeed and I can succeed, everyone's happy. As long as we're moving in the right direction, it makes me really happy. And no matter how big or small the boat, I'm always learning something.
Thank you so much for joining us, Leah. Hopefully maybe join us at some point. Still plenty of days left before the finish of the race, but you have a great day, and give my regards to everybody in your team.
Thank
you. Now then, Sébastien Simon is the Les Sables d'Olonne favourite. He's lost his starboard foil, but nonetheless he spoke with the president of the Vendée region this morning, and this was Seb Simon.
Ce matin, c'était assez exceptionnel. Je suis allé en bateau de l'autre côté du globe, en Australie, ce qui est quand même assez incroyable en l'espace d'un mois. Donc maintenant, j'ai à cœur de ramener ce bateau à bon port au Sable d'Olonne dans les meilleures conditions possibles et avec le plus joli résultat possible. Donc je pense que tout reste à faire. J'espère que le Pacifique portera mieux son nom portera bien son nom, parce que l'Indien nous a pas laissé beaucoup de temps pour souffler. Les bateaux ont été extrêmement sollicités. J'aimerais bien avoir l'opportunité d'aller faire un tour global du bateau pour voir si tout va bien. Malheureusement, c'est encore un peu trop violent pour ça.
So Sébastien Simon, with his ambitions to bring the boat back in good shape and getting the best possible result, and I'm sure he'll get a hero's welcome when he comes back to his hometown. My guest tomorrow will be Will Harris, back to business as usual. But in the meantime, do join us once again tomorrow, same time, same place, for our Vendée Globe live in English, 13:30 UTC, 14:30 in France.
Bon, malgré que les conditions soient quand même pas les plus favorables, j'ai quand même claqué mon record de vitesse. Je pense tout bateau confondu. 37 nœuds, les gars. 37 nœuds en IMOCA sous pilote. Pas mal. Pas mal.